Hey everyone, this is Ben Chaff with Level Up Tuts. Thanks for coming back and checking out one of my ExpressionEngine tutorials. In this tutorial, I'm going to cover the Playa extension by Pixel Tonic. The Playa extension is a add-on for ExpressionEngine which allows you to relate one or more pieces of content to each other. The Playa is currently at version 4.3.3 as of this recording, and currently also sells for $69. So it's on the more pricey end, I guess, for add-ons, but you'd be hard-pressed to find a better one. And definitely, they don't pay us to say this. This is just in my personal opinion. So we're going to cover sort of the basic terms and uses of this extension. And there'll be a couple other follow-up videos that sort of, take us on and on and on until we've really got it mastered. All right. So here we go. I've been using this band site that I developed a little bit ago as a example, and so I want to highlight one of my uses for Playa. So here is an album, right? And an album is made up of multiple tracks, and in this case there's 10 songs on this album. And each one of these songs is actually its own entry in the database. So the album as a whole is one entry, and then each track is its own entry that we've related back to this album. So you would say that this album is the parent and these tracks are the children. There's another term that is used in Playa, and that is to describe these children are siblings of each other's. And then also one last term, which is a co-parent. So that would be if like this track of Time also belonged to another album. And in some cases that's true, right? Because a song could be on an EP and then also released on a LP or on the Greatest Hits album or something. So anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and walk you through basically how I set this up. So I already have paid for, of course, downloaded, uploaded, and installed this extension on my site. And so we're not going to go through that process. It goes in your third-party folder, just like everything else. And once you've installed it, you need to go and create a field. You're going to have a new field type available to you. And this is in my album. And that new field type is called Playa. So you would add a new field. I'm just going to go into my existing one and select Playa. Give it a label and short name as usual. Scroll down. This is where you'll see the sort of the unique Playa stuff under the field options. And here we have the option to allow for multiple selection using a shift click, for example, or command click to show expired or future entries. So maybe we're not talking about songs on an album, but maybe we're talking about events, and you are trying to maybe there's events that are tied to a particular artist or something like that, and you want to tie those, but you don't want the previous items to show up, but only the future, their future shows. Another example. Well, one thing that is handy is your ability to further filter the content that would show up in the Playa interface. So here what we can do is we can limit the entries that are available by their channel, category, author, or status. Could also just limit the number total overall. And then the last one doesn't really have to do with limiting, but then the order that that list is outputted. So let's go ahead now. Before we move on, I only want tracks to show up. So when I'm building an album, I don't care, about images or news items or anything like that. I only want the tracks. So that's what we're seeing here. I'm just only limiting my Playa results to tracks. So now let's go into an album. We have Speed of Life over here. Though the site's not moving at the speed of life, that's for sure. It's dragging, so I apologize for that. So we'll scroll down. Here's my tracks field. And what we're seeing are all of the entries that belong to the tracks channel. And that's what we're seeing on the left. And then on the right, we're seeing the ones that I've already dragged over. So let's just do this. So I'll drag one back, and all I'm doing is just dragging and dropping. Alternatively, what I could do is select and then hit this arrow, and it'll put it to the bottom, and then I can just drag this around. The order that you'll see here is the order that items will be output on the screen, but that order can be influenced through the tag pair. So it's not entirely necessary that you have this all in the correct order, but it will depend on what you're trying to do. The option that we saw on the previous screen about the multiple select or whatever it is, you can see what I'm doing here is I held down shift and clicked two items that were apart, and now I can drag those over and throw them on the bottom. But let me get rid of them. Now that we have our child entries assigned to the parent, we can hit save or submit. And now it's time to show you guys how to put this into a template. So I'm gonna go ahead and close that. Take a look here. Album tracks was the short name. I'll just copy that, close that down. And I've created a new template, which is just like my page template. And the only thing that's really to notice here, there's a bunch of other stuff happening, but don't worry about that. We have a channel entries tag, and I'm just going to output the title. And this is, we'll say, parent. So I'm going to hit update. And that was site album. And here we see the parent and then the title, but we don't see the child entries yet. And that's where we are going to do right now. Let's go over to the template again, which is for some reason not loading. So I'll try to give this a refresh. Oh, thank goodness it's coming up. All right, yeah. So, all right. So now what we need to do is put in our tag pair. Oops. Again, this is just the field name that I copied and pasted. And now between this tag pair, what we can do we'll put child and then the title of that child. And I'll close out. I'm going to just wrap the whole thing in an ordered list. And so what this does is now we have available within this pair, we're going to have all the children printed out. And I'm choosing to print just the title and this little tag. But I could print anything here. Anything that's available to you in the channels entries is available to you within this Playa tag pair. Playa also has some other module tags that we'll cover in another video. So we're only going to cover this, but what's great is you can, say that you're only interested in, open. Maybe you're only interested in open or featured. So you could filter further by status. You could change the sort or the order by, or pretty much anything that you can do up here. So this is pretty great. So I'm gonna go ahead and just save this. That loaded fast now, and oops, I put a typo somewhere. But here we go. Here's the parent and here's the children, and yeah, there was 10, and here they all are. Isn't that great? So there you have it. This is your introduction to Playa, the relationships extension by Pixel Tonic. Check back to Level Up Tuts for more tutorials. We're publishing as many as we can. If you have any questions on Playa or ExpressionEngine or anything else, you can do so in the comments or contact us on Twitter at Level Up Tuts. Thanks for watching.